Like a really turbulent week last week, we actually closed Bitcoin above the bull market support band. And even though there were a whole lot of people on Twitter and everywhere else saying 𝗙𝗢𝗕𝗧 has been cancelled and 𝗙𝗙𝗪 is no longer reality, the reality is that 𝗙𝗙𝗪 is not cancelled, and in fact it's playing out exactly like it's played out in every other 𝗙𝗙𝗪, which is in the first couple of days of October the market goes down and then it recovers, and then look, we usually go up. We go up to like Valhalla, very, very, very accelerated. Now I was thinking over the weekend, I was away with some friends and they asked me if I was starting again in crypto, what would my portfolio look like? I guess what they were seeing is 𝗙𝗪𝗪 play out exactly as we anticipated, and they were kind of going, well, maybe this is a good time to get into crypto, and if you are getting in, what would your ultimate crypto portfolio look like? And so that got me thinking, because I have done portfolios in the past, but things change, narratives change, everything changes in crypto. And I asked myself, how would I build my portfolio if I was getting in today? And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to look at the ultimate portfolio for someone who's getting into crypto today. And if your portfolio doesn't look like this, you still have time to change your portfolio before the start of the aggressive part of the bull market. That's what today is about. It's about building the ultimate crypto portfolio for what I think is going to be the trip to Valhalla in the next couple of months. So let's get going. You know what I love about weekends with my normie friends, right? Weekends with my normie friends is that they get me thinking, because, you know, sometimes we are in crypto and we lose perspective of this amazing industry and why we're in this amazing industry. And sometimes when you go away with normies, they just give you like a new perspective. Number one, you realize how boring their lives are. And when they, you know, like they asked me this weekend, they said to me, so like, why are you in crypto? Why did you choose crypto? Why didn't you choose what we do, like property, trucking, owning stores and stuff like that? And you know what, the reality is that I had to think about it for a second, because you don't really know what the best answer you can give someone for that question is, right? Until, you know, they ask you that question. Then to me, it was simply this. I was like, where else do you have the opportunity? Let me just make this a bit smaller for those on the mobile phones. But where else do you get the opportunity to double your money, or to take $500 and to make that into $1 million in 11 flips? There's no other industry in the world where you could say, you know, realistically, you can expect 11 100% flips. And when, you know, only crypto gives you that opportunity, as far as I'm aware, to give you liquid flips, 10 or 11 liquid flips in 1 or 2 cycles. Like I guess that anybody can hit 10 or 11 doubles in 1 or 2 cycles in crypto if you play your cards correctly. And if you do that, then you can take $500 and you can turn it into $1 million, because you take $500, turns it into $1,000, 1,000 becomes 2,000, 2,000 becomes 4,000, 4,000 becomes 8,000, 8 becomes 16, and so you double it. And if you can just double your money 11 times, you get to $1 million. That's if you're starting with $500, but the reality is that a lot of us are starting with a lot more than $500, right? And so when you take those numbers and you say, look, the principle remains the same, and you extrapolate those numbers, and you say, look, someone who's starting with $500, if you can double your money 11 times in 1 or 2 cycles, you'll have $1 million by the end of the cycle. That's great. What about someone who is starting with $10,000? What happens to that person? We're starting with $10,000. A $10,000 person, if you double your money 11 times, and it is possible to double your money 11 times in a cycle. I know that because I've done it, right? Like I've done it in all the cycles. In fact, in all the cycles, I doubled my money at least 10 times in the last cycle. That will get you to $20 million from $10,000. And the truth is, if you're starting with a little bit more money, like let's say you're starting with $100,000 and you can double your money 10 or 11 times, you're going to get to 204 million. And I think that crypto is the only industry in the world where you can get from, I don't know, 10,000 to 20 million, or where you can get from 50,000 to 102 million, or where you can get from 100,000 to 204 million in 1 or 2 cycles. And the reality is that yes, we're all in it for the tech, but also I'm here because I'm here for the adrenaline, and I'm here because I think it's the best opportunity in the world to create wealth. And that's why I'm here. And that's also why I'm here with you guys, because I want not only to create my own wealth, but I also want to build the most profitable community in the world, so that we can all be rich together and we can all party together. So if you're here for the ride, subscribe to our channel. If you're just here for today, for a good time, not a long time, then just smash the like button. Today's going to be very, very, very alpha filled, because I'm going to show you effectively what the strategy is to start doubling your money. And remember, now is the time to be looking at doubling your money. Why? Because the reality is that, you know, we've had the breakout now of total 3. We've had the retest. And now it's a case of, if the charts play out structurally like the charts play out, we should get the aggressive part of the bull market. Now, in the aggressive part of the bull market, to double your portfolio 11 times, okay, maybe you can't do it in one, but you can at least do it 5 times. And so someone says, Anish, sir, is this really possible? I can only tell you what's happened to me, and it's happened to me. So I can't tell you, I can't give you theoretical things. I can only tell you what's happened to me. And I can tell you I've done it in both cycles, and I intend to do it again in this cycle, right? So it is possible. It is possible, but it means that you have to be holding the right portfolio, and you know, and to be making the right moves. And that's what today is really about: is building that actual portfolio. So I promise you an alpha full show. All you need to promise me is that you guys are going to obliterate the like button, and then together we're going to build the roadmap that'll help us double our money 10 times in the cycle. And I don't know, you put yourself onto the spreadsheet. I don't know how much money you're starting with. Everyone's starting with something else, something completely different. But just put yourself somewhere on the spreadsheet, and then set yourself the objective. If you're starting with $10,000, set yourself the objective of $20 million. And then let's just go together and go on to each one of these milestones. And as we get to the milestones, we'll just we'll highlight them in green along the way. I think a good place to start reaching this milestone first is to join us for the ByBit World Series of Trading competition. Because one thing I'm going to try and do in the World Series of Trading competition, I'm going to try and double my portfolio a few times. If you want to join our squad, currently it's the biggest English-speaking squad in the world. And if we win, then we're going to win $10 million, which is shared amongst the squad in a certain way. So if you want to do that, I think the first thing is you need to sign up to ByBit. Josh, can we put in a ByBit sign-up link here as well, please? So if you want to enter with us, number one, you need to be signed up to ByBit. We'll put in a ByBit referral link here so that you guys can sign up. But then click this link and join our team. Okay, so this is our squad. We are the biggest English-speaking squad in the world, but the competition and the trading starts in 3 days. All the hosts at Banter are going to be trading in this competition, and I'm going to be trading a portfolio. I've already loaded up a portfolio to actually be trading. And so we're going to give it a good shot. And that could be possibly the first time that we're going to double our money, or maybe even I think maybe the objective is probably to take 10 and actually make it 40 or 80 in this ByBit trading competition. So join us. If you haven't already signed up, sign up to ByBit, and then sign up using our link, and then sign up to our squad so that you can join us. You can see we've got some good whales in our squad, VIPs and stuff like that. I think we've got a very, very, very good chance of winning. Anyway, let's not waste time. Let's get straight into the portfolio. I've also got goosebumps when I saw how easy it was. Someone said, yet another portfolio. They're not very different. They're not very different. And I'm not flip-flopping for clicks, as someone said here. It's just that, you know, sometimes you want to make minor tweaks to your portfolio. And let me assure you that most of the portfolio is actually pretty solid and something that you've seen before. But there are some minor adjustments. I'm going to show you what the minor adjustments are and what I'm going to be doing. So question is, why am I making changes to my portfolio now? And I think the answer is a very simple answer. You know, I think that the fundamentals are telling me that we're going to get some kind of breakout here. The charts are telling me that there's some kind of breakout. The structures in the charts are telling me that everything is going according to plan. When I say according to plan, you know, we had a rough week last week with Bitcoin, but it doesn't matter because we closed over the bull market support band, which is one of the tests that I wanted to close past, which we did. Not only that, you know, this Uptober that everyone's talking about, everyone was like, oh, no, Uptober's cancelled because we didn't get Uptober immediately last week. But actually, to be honest, it's exactly the same as what's happened every Uptober. Up until the 10th or 11th of October, nothing really happens and then it starts moving, which means you don't have really much time. Because if we do start moving, and, you know, history rhymes, doesn't always repeat, maybe we'll start on the 10th, maybe on the 15th. But if Uptober plays out like it should play out, then this is what happens, kind of thing. And it happens really quickly, which means that you don't really have time to make adjustments to your portfolio, which means that you want to be ready. So as I say, I'm not worried about the market from a structural point of view. The thing that I like the most here is that there's no froth in this market and that funding rates are actually still negative. Like on some tokens, funding rates are still negative, which means there's really no froth in the market now. So if you're buying this market now, you're buying a market with very little froth. Even though today is a nice green day, you can see over here, very little froth in the market, which means it's probably a good time to be buying, regardless of whether or not some of your tokens have actually moved up. Now, remember, I don't just rely on the charts. The charts for me are an indicator. I also look at the fundamentals and I look at the data and I say, look, I've got a much more data-led approach. My data is telling me that that it's probably a good time to start buying. And I think I kind of agree with this tweet. Let's look at the bull case and the bear case. So the bull case, the bear case is the Israel and Iran will translate into world war. And I don't think it's going to translate into world war. I do think there's going to be heightened escalations and that might be a little bit turbulent, but generally, I don't think that this Israel-Iran thing is something to structurally worry about just yet. Another structural thing that might change is if Kamala wins. So, like if Kamala wins the elections, then maybe it's not that bullish for crypto. But that is the negative side. And I really struggle to think of anything else that's negative when I compare that to the bullish catalyst. Now, when I talk about the bullish catalyst, number one, China. You cannot ignore what's going on in China. So the Chinese market looks like that in the last couple of days. They're very serious about their stimulus. Goldman Sachs says the following. Goldman Sachs says, China, unless China does QE, the market rally will crash and burn and the economy will crater. But if China does do QE, oil will soar, gold will soar, Bitcoin will soar, and they will go in orders of magnitude higher. So China is part of my thesis. The other part of my thesis, and by the way, China has been closed for a public holiday. They open again tomorrow. And the futures are telling us that we're going to open up, which is quite big. The next thing, which is, I think there's a lot of sideline capital. There's about $6 trillion in money market funds, and there's a lot of unallocated capital. And the one thing we know is that when that unallocated capital gets deployed, people start getting FOMO and almost gets an exponential effect to getting money into markets and to get markets moving. And so I think that coupled with the US rate cuts, which are now in full swing, let's just quickly check in and just see what the probability of the rate cuts are. Okay, now we've got a double rate cut at 84%. So we've got a double rate cut at 84%, which is quite big. So that, and I think Trump is still in the lead when it comes to the elections. Again, with the elections are about 30 days away, actually less, 28 days away. And given where we are with the elections, right now, it's very close to call. So a lot of people are factoring in a Trump win. It's not certain until it's certain. Remember, the problem with Trump is you're not betting against Trump versus Kamala. You're betting against whether Trump can destroy this corrupt machine that he's actually up against. And you never know what they're going to do to win. They're allowing migrants to vote. In California, they got a bill that bans voter ID to vote. Okay, so remember, it's not a sure thing that Trump is actually going to win, even though it looks like now Trump will win. And I do think I agree with Fred Krueger that says, if Trump wins, Bitcoin goes to 100,000 almost automatically. So I think I agree very much with this tweet. So my thesis is very simple. My thesis is I'm here. I'm here, and I think that October is going to play out. I think that between now and the end of the year, we're going to get an aggressive rally. I think that's when we're going to start getting the momentum. And so I think that now is a good time to actually start building your portfolio. And as I said before, in building your portfolio, you must have an objective. And if you're trading without a plan, you're planning to fail. Basically, they say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's the same thing with trading. If you fail to have a plan, if you don't know why you're here, if you don't understand what you're trying to achieve with your portfolio, then chances are you'll probably fail. You'll probably fail. And to be honest, in the first cycle when I was in crypto, I failed. And the reason why I failed is because I was just so caught up in the ride that I didn't have a plan. And because I didn't have a plan, I didn't know what I needed to achieve. I didn't know when to exit. I didn't know when to reduce risk. I didn't know when to increase risk. And when you get into that mindset, the problem is that by the end of the bull market, you are so heavy in risk because you've drank so much Kool-Aid and this market's got you so excited. And then what happens is the market turns. And at that point, instead of being in the safest portfolio that's going to get you to keep your money, you'll end up being in an unsafe portfolio, which is fully risk and fully narrative, fully behind the best narrative in cryptos, or what you think is the best narrative. And those are usually the ones that land up collapsing the fastest. And so I think it's important that we have a plan. And I think a plan, actually a viable, realistic plan, is actually something that looks like this: to say, look, let's just plan to double our money, and then let's just plan to double our money again, and then let's just plan to double our money again. And now crypto is the only place in the world that you can say this, I think. And that's, I think the reason why I'm here is because I think that this is the only opportunity that I've got individually of, number one, doubling my money without having to wait 10 years for compound interest to double my money. And B, I think it's the only opportunity that I've got to help make other people rich, which is why I do this every single day, to help build the most profitable community in the world. And that's effectively why I do this. Now, when we talk about the most profitable community in the world, and the reason why I'm here, there is another reason why I'm actually here. One of the reasons why I'm here is because I actually do believe in the promise of crypto and the fact that people can hold on to their own money. And I've said this 1,000,001 times. I don't know how many of you know this about me, but my grandparents were actually very wealthy and they came from Iraq. But because they were Jews in Iraq, they were expelled. And when they were expelled, even though they were very wealthy and they had a lot of gold, they were goldsmiths, they were forced to leave their wealth in gold back in Iraq. So to me, I understand how wealth can be actually taken away from people. And that's why I think that crypto is so important, because we can all hold onto our own wealth. Now, I saw this on the weekend, and I just want to share it with you before we get into the actual portfolio. I don't know if you guys saw this. I think it's done its rounds.
Hi Binance, it has been 1 year since you looking my $30,000. All my saving and sharing my data with Israel. Isn't this enough? Can you give me my money back? You can't imagine how much I need them. Please guys, someone can send my message with Binance and tell them to unlock my money. I need them so bad. I need them so bad. Thank you.
So let me just give you perspective here. And I mean, you got to understand from where this perspective comes. I'm Jewish. That guy's from Gaza. Israel and Gaza are in a war at the moment, as you can see. And I want this guy to get his money. Why do I want this guy to get his money? Because I think that if we're in crypto, it's about making sure that we hold onto our own money. Now, when you leave money on exchanges, they can block your money off immediately. I guarantee you that this guy didn't in his wildest dreams think that one day an exchange would close off giving anyone in Gaza their money because of the war between Gaza and Israel, right? And it can happen to you. I don't know where you are in the world, but I can promise you that it can happen to you at any point in time. Get your money off the exchanges, guys. Come on. And up until last week, we ran a promotion where we said, look, if you're going to get your money off the exchanges, get yourself the new ledger, the one that comes in the big package. And we said, you walk around with this, you're going to walk around with the big package. Now, last week, we ran a campaign and we said, if you buy one, you may get a second one for free. Ledgers randomly sending a second one for free. That ended on Friday. But because of this video that I just showed you, I managed to convince him to do it for one more day. So for the next 24 hours, if you order one, you could get one. That's the reasons why we're here. We're here so that we can take control of our own money, okay? And we are here so that we can double our wealth, compound our wealth exponentially. That's it. So in that spirit, I have asked them to extend the promotion for one more day. If you order your ledger today, tomorrow, if you order it whenever you get it, you got to use this link over here. There's a link over here. If you use that link over there, the one that says run, then you may get a second one. Anyway, let's go back to it. So we're going to talk about the portfolio now. So as I said to you, I want to double my money a few times. Okay. I want to build a portfolio that is safe. So when I say a portfolio that is safe, you can 10x your money. If you hit a meme coin and the meme coin goes from $1 million to $10 million, you're going to 10x your money. And if it goes from $1 million to $100 million, you're going to 100x your money. And you could do your whole portfolio in meme coins. You could. In fact, funny enough, we have a front runners competition every single month where we talk about, where we challenge the front runners to see who's got the best campaign, the best portfolio. And the guy that won in the last month actually just put all his money into Baked, and Baked did 400%. So his portfolio did 400%. He would have been the winner of our portfolio competition, but that's not a balanced portfolio. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you've got a balanced portfolio. For me, it's a balanced portfolio with blue chips in the portfolio. I want to be in a slightly risk-on mode at the moment, and I want to make sure that I can get some 100x's and 200x's and stuff like that. So that is a portfolio. we're not concentrating all our risk. We're making sure that we're diversified across a whole lot of crypto narratives. We're making sure that we have the blue chips in there. And we're making sure that this is a portfolio that we're not going to trade in and out of, right? We're not trading in and out of this portfolio. This is not a trading portfolio. We will trade. We're going to trade in the ByBit trading competition. We will trade. We'll trade in our memes as well. But we're not going to be trading this portfolio. This is a portfolio that you buy and you hold it between now and the end of the cycle. So let's without wasting any more time, let's actually get into the actual portfolio. And let's take a look at the tokens that I've selected in my portfolio. Now, I'm not the only one who selected tokens. You can see every single one of the researchers has added in their portfolios over here. And you can basically follow each one of them. You can follow whoever you want. Right now, in our previous portfolio, I think Paolo's in the lead and I think I'm coming second. I don't know, maybe researchers, maybe you want to just send me a copy of the previous one so we can just see where we're at. Anyway, so in terms of where we're going to be in this portfolio, number one is, of course, we're going to have Bitcoin in the portfolio. So yes, we're going to have Bitcoin in the portfolio. I do think that you have to hold Bitcoin. This is the ultimate store of value. This is the ultimate hedge against inflation. This is the one that's going to run, and it's got the network effects. And I think that this one's almost a sure thing. The one thing that I've taken out of my portfolio is I've taken ETH out of my portfolio. And the reason why I've taken ETH out of my portfolio, finally, believe it or not, is because yesterday I used ETH again. I had to send some prize money to 𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙 yesterday on ETH, and it was like going back 5 years. I really felt like I switched on my Nokia phone, like 𝗦𝗘𝗥𝗡𝗦 says, and I just realized that, you know what, I actually don't want to be part of this game anymore. I'm out of ETH, and so you can see that I've included Bitcoin in my portfolio, but I've actually tapped out of ETH, and I've said, you know what, if ETH's going to run, then ETH's going to run because of an L2, and I'd rather put my money into the L2 narrative. So I'm out of ETH, and I'm fully back into Bitcoin. Cool. The next one that I'm adding into my portfolio is going to come as no surprise. That is, of course, Solana. You know that I'm a big Solana bull. I think Solana is the leading layer 1 blockchain. I think, you know, it's the only one that has shown real product market fit. And so basically I've said, look, I'm going to go Bitcoin and I'm going to go Solana, and that's going to take up the majority of my portfolio. But then I do think you need exposure to a whole lot of other layer 1s. And I think the new and shiny layer 1 out there at the moment, and every market cycle has a new and shiny layer 1, is actually Sui. And so as you can see, Sui is making all the right noises. I mean, you can see like they did a whole lot of transactions. Their technology, if you were to say which technology is better, Rust or Move, Sui or Solana, probably Sui on a pure technological scale. You could say tech for tech, maybe Sui is better tech. But this game is not actually all about tech. It's about network effects. And you don't need to have the best tech to have network effects. You just have to have the network effects and the users and the builders and the VCs. And Solana's definitely beaten Sui there. But every market cycle does have a blockchain that is the new shiny thing. Last season it was Solana. And I think that this season it's going to be Sui. Now, it's not a sure thing that it's going to be Sui. Right now, Sui is way ahead of Aptos. And if you want to choose an alternative, maybe one of the alternatives that you can choose is actually just go for Aptos. So if you think that Sui's had a run, and you like the idea of being in a Move blockchain, but Sui, you say, but Sui has run too much. And I mean, let's just get some perspective here, so you can see how Sui's run. And I understand if you're looking at this and you're going, I'd love to get into Sui, but you know what? Look at that run, and I want to wait for a pullback, or I don't want to wait for a pullback. Then you can just go for Aptos, which is pretty much, you're taking a bet on a language. You're taking a bet on the next big thing after Rust or after Solana. Okay, cool. That's Sui. Then the next one I would do is I'd go for a slightly riskier L1. So what is my slightly riskier L1? Now here you've got a choice. You can either go with Near Protocol. If you think that you're more of an AI person, then I would go much more for Near. Or you can go for Phantom. And it's two different bets. One of those is Near. Near is the AI play. I'm all in on AI. I'm all in on Ilya, and they are getting amazing traction. And the second one is Phantom. And Phantom, the reason why you'd be buying Phantom is because you back 𝗪𝗥𝗢𝗏. You've seen the Sonic testnet that is actually built. The Sonic testnet is the new type of technology that they're building. It's kind of like a layer 2 on ETH, or a side chain on ETH, if you want to call it that. And it's got incredible speed. And if you go into Phantom, you're basically saying to yourself, I'm taking a bet on 𝗪𝗥𝗢𝗏. So you make a call. but be heavy in one of these, in the layer ones, because these are the layer ones that can give you the outsized returns. These ones are quite heavy already, and gravity dictates that you can have both, like Alex does have. Gravity dictates that this is very, very, very heavy to pick up. So that is the L1 thesis. Then I'm going to go into mixed L1s. Now, when I say mixed L1s, 𝗪𝗡 is a great L1, which is the storage and the narrative. It's a one of one L1. You can't really compare 𝗪𝗡 to Filecoin, which some people try and do. And I know the price of 𝗪𝗡 has been suppressed. I think there's been a seller in the market. From a fundamentals point of view, 𝗪𝗡 has never been stronger. I mean, I looked at the numbers today. You can see like the numbers of the storage are unbelievable. And also in terms of capabilities of the blockchain, there's no other blockchain out there that can do what 𝗪𝗡 can do. So this is something that I'd really put into my portfolio. So far, no real departures from my previous portfolios for people who are looking at it. Then I go into a new one in my portfolio. So, and the new one that I'm adding to my portfolio is Celestia. Now, the reason I'm adding Celestia to my portfolio is because you need a play on the modular blockchain thesis. In other words, when they break up every component of the blockchain into different modules, and people can use the different modules as they wish. That's what you call modular design of blockchains. Now, Celestia is the ultimate. Now, I'm going to take a contrarian view here. A lot of people are saying that Celestia is about to drop because of a massive token release, which is happening at the end of October. And they may be right. But I'm going to start buying my Celestia now in case they're wrong. Because I think the market has put Celestia into the market's gone into a tiz about this huge Celestia unlock, which puts another $1 billion of tokens into circulation. But ultimately, this is one of the sure thing bets in a token. And so I'm going to be buying half of my Celestia now and half of my Celestia after the unlock. And the money that I'm actually using is the money that I had in Ethereum. So I'm selling some of my Ethereum and I'm buying and I'm putting the money into Celestia. I may be making a big mistake, but ultimately I think I've made a decision and I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, then we go on to cross-chain protocols. And there's really 2 or 3 cross-chain protocols that I'd really back. The first one is Rune. I don't think I need to give you guys much of a reason why I'm buying Rune. ThoughtChain is the ultimate in decentralized cross-chain protocols. When you look at the usage and you look at the number of usage and the volume of usage, Rune, ThoughtChain is the number one by far. Not only that, if you look at their roadmap is absolutely unbelievable, and they've got partnerships, and they are becoming the hub of Cosmos because it's built with Cosmos technology, with the Cosmos SDK. And so I think that Rune becomes the hub of ThoughtChain, and I think that you're going to find that out at the Cosmos event that's happening in Dubai later this month. So for me, Rune is definitely one. But if you're looking for an alternative, or you can have both, is get Wormhole. And the reason why I think Wormhole is probably a good one to be getting is because from a technological point of view, Wormhole are absolutely amazing. But they're also getting real traction when it comes to real world assets or real world securities. And so they've just done a deal with 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, which they announced at Solana Breakpoint. And so I think like you got to have exposure. I've got exposure to both, to be honest, in my portfolio. But you know, in this portfolio game, you're only allowed to have 20 tokens, and at the end you got to have 3 to 5 memes. So that's why I've said one or the other. The next part of what I want to have in my portfolio is, again, either 𝗥𝗓𝗓, again, it's the cross-chain real-world asset narrative, or Layer 0. And to be honest, like I've got a lot of 𝗥𝗓𝗓. I've got all 4 in my portfolio. But if I'm building a portfolio here because I want to kick the researchers' asses and beat them in terms of price, so I'm going to stick with Rune and 𝗥𝗓𝗓 for this, and maybe I'm going to later on substitute something and just put Wormhole into it. Cool. Then we move on to the next one, which is an Oracle. Now, I think you need to have an Oracle in your portfolio, because I think if you believe in real world assets and you believe in all this trading, you need an Oracle that actually suggests the price. Now, when it comes to Oracles, you can go with Chainlink or you can go with Pyth. I said to you before, I love Chainlink, and I've got some Chainlink in my portfolio, but to me, buying Chainlink is like buying ETH, and buying Pyth is like buying Solana. And so I've gone all in now on Pyth, and I've got a very big Pyth position that I've actually been buying on the market like recently at the same prices as it looks like now. Cool. Then we move on to the next one, real world assets. We called Mantra a long time ago. It's still my best play in real world assets. The team have just delivered and delivered and delivered. And you can see that this chart just speaks of delivery. Just look at that chart. That chart just speaks of delivery. And so I'm going to stick with this team. I'm, a team that delivers time after time after time. I'm going to stick with them. So my real world asset play is Mantra. That is my real world asset play. Then we're going to go into trading. So remember, I believe that blockchain is about trading, creating value and trading value. And so you need to have exposure to trading. And in my exposure to trading comes in two places. Comes in injective protocol and it comes in aerodrome. So why injective? Well, injective, I think the stats speak for themselves. So if you look at let me just find you the injectives. Just look at the Q3 stats, 1 billion transactions in total. I mean, this is just like from a trading layer one speed efficient blockchain, this is pretty much as good as you're going to get. Like, I don't think that it gets much better than this. Then you've got aerodrome. And I guess the reason why I'm bullish on aerodrome is because I'm just bullish on base. And, if you're bullish on base, I think you've got to, let me see if I can find you some stuff on aerodrome. So just look at the total, base liquidity or the volumes that's happening. The dark one is Uniswap and the other one is aerodrome. So aerodrome is the play for people trading on base. If you believe that Coinbase is going to bring millions of people into crypto, then you want exposure to aerodrome. So from a trading point of view, I would have injective or aerodrome or injective and aerodrome. And then I would also have some meme trading exposure. Now, when you talk about meme trading exposure, the meme trading is happening on Solana. And there you probably want to be in Radium, because I think Radium is probably where all of the, not all, but a large part of where the meme game is happening on Solana. So just listen, just read this. It says, Radium is the definitive index bet on meme coin supercycle, number one DEX on Solana, bigger than 50% of the share of meme coin trading, generates $63 million annually, trades at a 14x no supply unlocks. Got to hold this. I mean, I think you got to hold this. The next one that you want to be holding is, if you believe in trading and you don't want to be holding Radium, then maybe have a look at Rollbit. Rollbit's the ultimate. I know there's a big seller in Rollbit, and until he gets out, I actually even know who he is. Until he gets out the way, I don't think that Rollbit's going to carry on going. But once he is out the way, I think all the selling will be done and Rollbit will fly. All right, then we move into AI. You have to have exposure to AI in this market. Other than memes, the second biggest meme in the AI market, according to Murad, is AI, and I think he's right. And so there you can choose between, in the distributed GPU space, you can choose to go with either Render or Akash. It's up to you. I think they both do very similar things. Maybe Akash is more AI centric. Render is more rendering centric. But ultimately, they're both the same thing. They do distributed GPUs, and I would put that into your portfolio. Okay, cool. Dismiss. Goodbye. I see everyone's trying to log into the ultimate portfolio. That's why you guys are a bunch of degens. All right, then we move into AI infrastructure, and there I would go with either 𝗤, and the reason why I'd go with 𝗤 is because 𝗤 is the AI index for crypto. It's got the most share of voice. It has become, regardless of whether it's the best tech or not, it doesn't really matter if it's the best tech or not. It's got the biggest share of voice, and when something has the biggest share of voice, you can't really discount it. So it looks like, for me, let me just see if I can find some stuff on 𝗤 here. Here we go. So Grayscale have now made 𝗤 the largest allocation in decentralized AI fund, and it has 50% of the mind share of crypto AI. If you want to go with something slightly riskier, but also good, based AI. And to be honest, I have a lot more based AI than I have 𝗤 in my portfolio. So then you got based AI, then you got base. So now you've covered L1s, store of values, cross-chain, oracles, real-world assets, trading, and now you've gone into AI. Then you got to have gaming in your portfolio, guys. You have to have gaming bets in your portfolio. And I've added 3 gaming bets into the portfolio. So one of them obviously is Superfarm. You can't discount Superfarm and what Elio's doing, and potentially Alex alongside him. Then you got Prime, Echelon Prime, and then you got Uncaged. Uncaged is my 100x. That one can easily go 10x, 20x, 30x if it runs. Whereas Super, I think Super's already at $1 billion valuation. So I think it's going to be a little bit harder for Super to do 100x. So that is the gaming narrative. Then after that, what you got to do is you got to get into the meme narrative. Now, what I want to do about the meme narrative is I actually want to delete my meme coin selection. And the reason why I want to delete my meme coin selection is because I think we need to dedicate a whole show, which we'll do tomorrow, to choosing the 5 best meme coins to put into the portfolio. So the reason why I say that is because I think you have to have exposure to memes. Every time we try and run away from the meme exposure, the timeline basically fills up with memes. This time it was Murad's amazing talk at Token 2049 and beyond that basically got the meme coin cycle running again. But everywhere you look, the biggest names are all talking about memes. And I think you can't run away from it. You've got to have some meme coins in your portfolio. But truth is, if you're going to have meme coins in your portfolio, you want to make sure that the meme coins are under $20 million market cap. And the reason is because if I'm going to invest in a meme, I'm not looking for 10x on that meme. I'm looking for 100x on that meme. I'm not looking for a 10x on that meme. So I think what we should do is we should dedicate a whole show tomorrow to finding the best meme coins. Also, by that time, Paolo, who's our meme coin degen god, is back and he can help us choose the meme coins. But what I'm going to do with the last 4 or 5 coins in my portfolio is I'm going to actually put them into, it's 4 coins. I'm going to put meme coins into all these, into the last 4. But the question is which meme coins? Because again, like I say, when it comes to meme coins, I'm here to make millions upon millions. This on the meme coins is where I execute the double strategy the most effective, right? And so tomorrow, I think what we'll do is we'll finish off this portfolio by going through why we're in a meme coin cycle, how this meme coin cycle works, and then using all that information to actually choose the last 4 or 5 tokens in our portfolio. And after that, what we'll do is we'll have the ultimate portfolio for the next part of the bull market. And not only will you get one portfolio, you've got Joe's portfolio over here, you got Chris's portfolio. Joe's already up 0.57%. Or is he down? He's up. Well done, Joe. You're in the lead. But you can see he's got a very similar portfolio. He chose ETH. He's got Pendle instead of Mantra. He chose Mother. I think he's just got the hots for Iggy. I think it's like an Irish thing. I think he's got the hots for Iggy. Yeah, so you can see that you've got all of them. The front runners have had this for a while, but you've got all of the guys here with their meme coins. Tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll finish this portfolio. We'll add in the last couple of meme coins, but only once we've really studied the cult nature of meme coins. And we'll then, meme coins are all about communities and cults. And if a community can become a cult, then it becomes great. Now, one of the places that you're actually seeing that is smoking chicken fish. I don't know if you guys have been watching SCF. We told you about SCF for a long, long, long time. And you can see that it's at $114 million. It's probably the single reason why my business partner, Fred, was able to resign and go live in Thailand, because he bought a token called Smoking Chicken Fish. And that just shows you how one trade can actually basically change your entire life, maybe even change your entire life for generations. And that you can only actually do in crypto. So tomorrow, what we'll do is we will go and look at Smoking Chicken Fish. Someone says, always shilling this guy. I mean, I don't own any Smoking Chicken Fish, bro. I used to. I dumped it at 100 million because again, I'm playing these things till 100 million, and I want to get more to get to 100 million. So I will see you guys again tomorrow when we actually do that show. Remember, if you haven't already signed up to our World Series of Trading, we are the biggest team in the biggest English speaking team in the world. But I want to become by far the biggest English speaking team in the world. I see 8 of you have joined while we're on the show. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get this thing filled up. You got 3 days before the trading actually starts, and then you start falling behind because you're not in it. And I don't think you want to be falling behind. And remember, I've told Ledger to keep the big package giveaway going for 1 more day. So you have 1 more day. Otherwise, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. We'll finish the portfolio again tomorrow with 5 extra meme coins. Until then, be safe. Trade well, my friends.